Another application of understanding systems is this idea that involves business types of functions, such as a break-even point. Break-even basically tells us at what point does our business start to become profitable? Where do our cost and our revenue align with each other? So let's imagine, well, first of all, let's back up then. So two things we want to understand are revenue and cost. Revenue is based on the price per unit that we sell. So we sell X amount of units at a certain price. That's our income. That's our revenue. The cost is based on all the fixed costs plus the cost to produce each unit. Fixed costs are such things as insurance, salaries, production material, rent, leasing, all those types of things. Things you have to pay regardless how many units you sell. So let's imagine a situation, an example here. We are entering a business. The business has $500,000 in fixed cost. We know that we're able to produce the item that we want to make at $400 per unit. And we're going to sell it for $600 per unit. So how many units do we have to sell in order for our company to break even? So let's build a system out of this information that we have. First of all, I can look at my revenue, which is a function of X, which just means that tells me that my revenue depends on how many X's I sell. And that equals price per unit, which is 600 per unit times X. My cost, which is also a function of how many units I sell, is $500,000, which is my fixed, plus the cost per unit to make, which is $400 per unit. So you see, I have an emerging system here. And the solution to any system is a point where those two graphs, those two lines intersect each other. And in this case, the intersection is our break-even point. So let's modify it a little bit and turn it into an equation. So we're going to say y equals 600x and y equals 500,000 plus 400x. Still is a system. So how do you want to solve this system? You want to solve it graphically? You want to do substitution, or do you want to do addition? Well, in this particular one, I'm going to use substitution because I notice that both equations are already solved for y, which means then that 600, which is a y, equals the other y, which is 500,000 plus 400x. So there I have a one-by-one equation, or one-by-one situation where I'm able to solve the equation. So let's add 400 both sides, or 400x. Solve for x, and that equals, cross out the 2 and 5,000, that equals 2,500 units. So my break-even point will occur after I produce 2,500 units. And for those that are curious, you're wondering, well, how much money is it at that point? How much money did you put in? Well, we know that that's the solution for both these equations. So let's just figure out then, let's substitute this value of x into that first one. So 600 times 2,500, that equals 6 times 25 is 150, plus I got 4 zeros. Double check my work, 6 times 25 is 150, 4 zeros, add on to that. So my break-even point happens when I produce 2,500 units, and at that point, my cost and my revenue equal each other at 1.5 million. Every unit I make after that now goes to my profit. So that's a little bit of how we can look at systems to determine break-even points for profitability.